I have no message to President Putin. He knows where I stand, and he'll make a decision one way or the other. Whatever his decision is, we'll either be happy about it or unhappy. And if we're unhappy about it, you'll see things happen.
Now, yesterday, China showcased new nuclear weapons in a large military parade, including its new intercontinental ballistic missile dubbed the DF-61. Trump was asked about the trio of leaders, which some saw as an ominous image to the free world.
My relationship with all of them is very good. We're going to find out how good it is over the next week or two. I watched the speech last night. President Xi's a friend of mine. But I thought that the United States should have been mentioned last night during that speech because we helped China very, very much.
Now, Putin claims he's ready to meet with Ukraine's president, saying, quote, if Zelensky is ready for a meeting, let him come to Moscow. Now, Putin also unveiled his peace terms, something we've heard before. What Russia gets, Ukraine concedes control of Donetsk and Luhansk. That's all the Donbas region, of course. Frees the front lines in Kherson and Zaporizhia. And the U.S. recognizes Russia's sovereignty over captured land. That's likely a non-starter, guys. What Russia concedes, it's willing to negotiate over small slivers of Sumy in the Kharkiv regions, and Russia's open to discussing security guarantees for Ukraine. Russia has said it's not open to Western forces being in Ukraine. Now, Ukraine's president says any retreat from the Donbass would leave his country exposed and give Putin a base for future attacks. As you mentioned off the top, Lauren, Zelensky and other European leaders are meeting in Paris today, led by the leaders of Britain and France. And President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, is also in attendance in Paris today. Yes.
So, Lucas, we know he offered, hey, I'll meet with Zelensky, just have him come to Moscow. But he also says over and over again, Zelensky's not a legitimate leader of Ukraine. And his point is he's gone past his 5-year term. But in the Constitution of Ukraine, it specifically says if you're at war, you can't have elections.
That's correct, Brian. We saw it during World War II in Britain. They didn't hold elections for 10 years, although Churchill was later defeated. Didn't even make the VJ Day, the victory over Japan. But that's likely, this is what officials say, is likely Putin stalling for more time, Brian.
No question. Thanks, Lucas.
Thanks, Lucas. Talk with some sources close to the president yesterday, and the best way they described it is the president is calm, cool, collected. That he realizes the games that they're playing right there. That's why he released that statement saying, good luck conspiring against the United States. He knows exactly what's going to happen. Now, he wanted to give peace a shot, and he wants to want peace. But the economic pressure that these countries are experiencing right now is only going to increase if they continue to plot against the United States in its interests.
Yeah, I definitely think the president wants peace, and he's going to continue to move in that direction. But I also think that President Trump realizes that the real enemy is China. That's his focus. And I think the conversations with Putin that he had in Alaska were not just about Ukraine. I believe they also have to do with the Western Hemisphere. President Trump wants China out of the Western Hemisphere, and he wants Russia to not interfere on behalf of Nicolas Maduro in the case of Venezuela. So I think this is a big dynamic game of chess that's being played right now. I thought it was really interesting, this hot mic that was caught. Putin and Xi were caught on this hot mic. They were talking about immorality, but they were also talking about something else, which is very immoral. Listen.
In the past, people rarely lived longer than 70 years, but today they say at 70 you are still a child.
Biotechnology is continuously developing. Human organs can be continuously transplanted. The longer you live, the younger you become, and even achieve immortality.
Some predict that in this century, humans may live up to 150 years old.
Couple of things.
Weirdos.
Yeah,
100%.
Total weirdos. And there's an organ problem in where they're stealing organs from prisoners and from the Uyghurs. This is not like science fiction. This is stuff that Xi is being accused of in real time.
I'm pretty sure President Xi and Putin aren't going to go on an organ donor list and wait for their name to be called. So there's some 22-year-old there about to give up his liver. So we'll see how that goes. But the bigger story is this. They wanted us to see that the world could exist no longer as America's the premier power. They want you to see that North Korea, that mutant. They want you to see that Belarus, who's a sycophant who basically signed over his whole country because he lost an election, tradition over to Russia. They want you to see Russia and China. Every day they describe how close they are. I'm surprised they don't eventually make out on camera, and we'll see if they eventually team up. But here's the bigger story. I love the president's cool, calm reaction to what's going on. Oh, they wanted me to watch. I watched.
Yeah.
I watched everything. I noticed you talked about World War II, but nice if you gave the U.S. some credit. He's right. Because if you see what they did, they actually talked about China winning World War II and didn't even talk about our role in beating Japan. So the president really is into America's tradition, America's success, doesn't like that. What he's trying to say is, I know you're tough guys. You know, we got it. I tried to give you respect.
That's right.
I gave you respect for 4 years, and I gave you respect for 4 years and 8 months. Time to show it now, because I'm going to come down hard if you don't take the off-ramp, Vladimir Putin, that I gave.
Did you see how Trump surprised everyone with his words in his speech? What do you think? Was it his big shot or his strategy? Be sure to share your feedback in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe.